Hello, thanks for joining me for another video. Welcome. Okay, the last time we had left off at where the medications that I was receiving for my cancer had stopped working. And let's review. There was only one. First, there was only one, and then they gave me another one that also stopped working. The one that I was receiving was an injection in the fatty part of my abdomen. That was the one that was bringing my testosterone down to zero. When that stopped working, I said to the doctor, okay, what now? Is There's something else, right? Because you told me that there was always going to be something that we could try. And he said, well, yes, the next thing we can try are these pills, and hopefully they'll work. And I said, well, what if they don't work, or what if they stop working, like the injection stopped working? And he said, well, there will be other pills that we'll be able to try. Uh, so that's what we'll do. That's the plan. And we will still continue to give you the injections to keep your testosterone under control. And then we're going to also give you these pills. And then after that, we'll talk about what we can do next. Okay. So I continued to receive the injections, which, by the way, were pretty uh, painful. I didn't expect them to be that painful. It was the kind of thing that you sit there and you go, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to complain. I'm going to take it and suck it up. And then they gave you the injection, and you smiled. The guy or gal left the room, and you went, help! That hurt. So when that stopped working, the doctor said, we're still going to continue to administer these because they're doing something. And now they're also we're also going to give you these pills that will also fight the cancer directly. Okay. So after a while, happily taking the pills stopped working. And I thought, well, this is not good. Because to me, that was going into remission. And going into remission, to me, was death. That meant that the next step was dying. But I said to the doctor, but you said there'd always be something that we could try so that I wouldn't, the medications, so that I wouldn't go into remission. Well, so that I would go into remission, so that I would stay in remission, rather. So they said, well, no, there are other pills that we could try, but they're the same, in essence, the same thing as what we've been giving. So they would do the same thing. So we're not going to. It's not worth. They're not worth trying. Okay, so what now? And didn't you tell me? I remember that the doctor was not available when I was given that piece of news, and I had been talking to the nurse practitioner, and I wanted to talk to the doctor. So I said, I want to talk to the doctor about this. So we set up a telephone consultation. So I set up the consultation. The doctor said to me over the phone that there was nothing else that could help me. And we set up a regular regular appointment. And the next time that I went to see him for the appointment, he seemed a lot more optimistic. And he said, well, now there's something else that we can give you now. And it's kind of new. It falls under the category of nuclear medicine. And not everyone can tolerate it. So we're going to have to do some blood work on you, and we're going to do some scans, and then if it seems like they're going to work for you, then we will start the treatments. And I said, that's fine with me. But he seemed so optimistic that I told him, well, you seem very optimistic. The last time you told me that I was going to die, well, a while back, you told me that I was going to die with cancer. I was going to die of something else. And then the last time you told me that I was going to die with cancer, which means that my cancer was so aggressive that I was probably going to die of cancer. And now, what? Aren't you telling me that I'm going to die with cancer? Meaning that maybe I'll be able to survive the cancer and die of something else? And he said, yes, maybe. So we started looking into the possibility of my getting these, what it was injections. They call them infusions. To me, it was an injection. I went into the vein. I went for the scans. I went for the, I think they did some x-rays. And finally, they said, the blood work. And they said, okay, if you want to try, your blood work looks good, your scans look good. And now we know with those scans, we know where your cancer is in your bones. So we know where to send these, I don't know how they did it. It was nuclear isotopes of some kind or something. I'm going to do a video that will explain more in detail what the medications that I've been given to fight cancer, the way that they have worked or not worked with me. I said, that's fine. And they also explained to me that I had to remain away from people for a couple of days after I took the infusions. And I said, okay, that's fine. And we tried the first infusion. And when we did a blood work to check my PSA after that first infusion, my PSA had not dropped, but it had dropped like a stone. So I was very pleased. So was the nuclear medicine doctor. So was my oncologist. And they all looked at me with smiles that were straight out of the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland. And they said, well, do you want to do another injection? Because there were 6 injections. The treatment consisted of 6 injections. And I said, yes, I do. So I took another injection, and spoiler alert, they worked just fine. Well, at least the second one. So I'll tell you more about what happened in the next video.